We're going to talk about why you're getting denied business funding. This can include business credit cards at 0% interest. This can include business lines of credit. I'm going to assume that you have good personal credit. So we're not even going to talk about the personal credit side. I want to talk about a slept on reason that a lot of people don't touch on. And just to qualify myself, you can go look at my channel. I've helped many business owners secure millions upon millions of dollars of business funding. This is not the video where I'm going to do all this self validation. You can go to my channel, do your due diligence. Business owners, y'all tend to not operate in the whole skepticism like the poor people tend to do. So, I'm assuming that you're good if you just do a little bit of research on my channel. So, with that being said, what I want to tell you about in terms of why you may be getting denied business funding, this can include the credit cards or lines of credit, like I said. One of the main reasons that I've observed as I've been helping business owners get funded is literally just a simple fact of how the market is right now. And when I say how the market is right now, you got to realize a lot of people are scamming, right? So these banks, they think people are scamming. So one of the main reasons why I see people get denied is just unable to verify the business, right? And when I say unable to verify the business, what I mean by that is you look at your business right now. If you have any inconsistencies, it could be on the Secretary of State, it could be on the IRS, it could be on your damn application that you put, right? If you have any inconsistencies, that might be a reason why you're getting denied. Because as I've worked with many bank relationship managers at different banks, a lot of them have different rules, but for the most part, banks are going to be banks. So, what I've learned from working with them is that underwriting really does their due diligence. So, if you got one letter that's different, it could be your name reporting differently, it could be the business name reporting differently. If it's not consistent in terms of the Secretary of State, the IRS, and then also obviously on your application with that bank, you might be subject to unable to verify the business identity, right? That's a common thing that we have seen clients go through. And it's just important to remember that you want to have consistency when you are going for that, right? Because we've seen it with people that have good personal credit, quote unquote, good personal credit. And when I say good, I'm not talking about just a score. I'm talking about obviously a well built out profile. Those of y'all that know that, I know the credit shit as well, knowing how to build a perfect credit profile in the eyes of the lender, right? So we're assuming that I'm not assuming that you have bad credit. If you do have bad credit, fix your damn credit, your personal credit, right? If you're looking for money, there's no reason why you should have bad personal credit. But anyways, so unable to verify the business identity. That's one of the main reasons that we see people do get denied. And one thing I'll say, going back to what I said, each bank is different, even though they have their similarities. Certain banks, they want you to have a website, in terms of being able to be verified. It could be website, social media. Different banks, they don't have that requirement. But basically, when it comes to this funding shit, you want to basically you want to have the odds in your favor when it comes to actually being fundable because you have to look at what it is in the market. What it is in the market is the reality is people are scamming, right? People are creating fake businesses. People are doing all that just to go get access to funding. It may not be you, but it doesn't dismiss the fact that people are doing the shit. So you want to just make their job easier when it comes to that. So I would say that's like the number one reason why I see people getting denied business funding. So make sure you're on your P's and Q's with that if you are doing your funding yourself. An additional thing when it comes to that whole verification thing, make sure you have a DMB number, right? Dun and Bradstreet. Make sure you're on there. Make sure you're on Experian Business. Make sure that you if you can, you have stuff reporting there, showing payment history, things like that. Because if you don't look like a real business, it's a main reason why they're gonna deny you. And I know a lot of y'all that may be going through the process yourself. Maybe you don't have access to these bank reps that I work with. So you don't get inside look into all of this, right? So number two reason is you're not working with bank relationship manager. So working with a bank relationship manager, if you don't know what a bank relationship manager is, they are reps that typically do work with underwriting. And I've learned a lot from them as well, just as I've taken people through the application process. Not only are they good for approvals, but they're good for higher limit approvals in terms of the business credit cards than if you just went online and allowed the algorithm to do what it does. I'm not saying this is like a guarantee you just work with a BRM and everything is good like that. But remember, this is a game of stacking the odds in your favor. So when we have our system where we onboard people, we make sure that they're qualified, and we do everything on the back end that we do to make sure that we're increasing their highest likelihood. We'll work with the bank rep to increase that likelihood even higher. So it's not like we're just taking somebody that ain't make no money in business or has a terrible personal credit, right? We're bringing qualified people. It's just that we're making someone that's a winner an even bigger winner. So if you're watching this, if you're a winner, we can probably make you a bigger winner than what you are right now. If you are a loser, we can't turn a loser into a winner. Let me repeat. We cannot turn a loser into a winner, right? This is a winning game. Banks don't want to fuck with losers. They like people that win. They like people that make money. They like people that have the good personal credit. They like businesses that are verifiable, businesses that look real. You have to look real on paper. Secretary of State, IRS, your application, make sure everything is saying the same shit. You have to be consistent in what you're saying. Don't be like lying or saying all this stuff that's not true, right? So, consistency is the main theme of what I want you to understand when it comes to why people that we see do get denied. Obviously, you could talk about the personal credit if we want to just add some information on that. Make sure you don't just have a skinny profile. Even if you got an 800 credit score, you want to have well built out credit profile, right? You can go look at other videos on my channel. I talk about that. This video wasn't really about that. This video was more about like the slept on thing, which is the whole verification of the business. Make sure you got that done in Bradstreet, right? Make sure you have the Experian Business Equifax. Make sure that you have a website, depending on the bank. An additional thing is relationship. So certain banks, again, a lot of them are similar, a lot of them are different, but some banks are more relationship based. So it means that they want you to establish a relationship within the bank. You gotta look at this shit just as like real life. When I say you gotta look at it in terms of like real life, think about it like there's so many banks out there, right? The banks want to establish a relationship with you. What's stopping them in their head from thinking, okay, this person is just trying to come and take from us, and then they're gonna go to a different bank, right? They want like commitment, right? So think about it like, let's say you're a dude. If you're talking to hella women, or if you're a woman, if you're talking to hella dudes, they're gonna look at you like, okay, I gotta figure out there's some type of commitment here. So the banks want to establish a relationship with you. So you gotta have some skin in the game sometimes. When I say you gotta have some skin in the game sometimes, that might mean opening that business checking account. That might mean depositing money over there. That might mean, just doing those simple things. Some people they just go straight away to the application, which you can do, but sometimes you might get denied just because of not having that relationship with the bank as well. But like I said, in summary, making sure that your business is verifiable because you want to be able to be verified and not be viewed as fraudulent, not be viewed as a scammer. Because as I talk to these BRMs like every day, every week, a lot of these businesses are scamming, and this is their concern. A lot of these businesses aren't even scamming, and it's still their concern. So you got to make their job easier when underwriting is doing their due diligence, right? So number one reason why you might be getting denied, maybe they're unable to verify your business identity. So do everything I said as far as making sure you're on your P's and Q's. Number two, you're not working with a bank relationship manager. We work with bank relationship managers, so we have the insiders. If you need a simple summary of what it is, it's like knowing somebody inside a party versus you just apply online and you don't know nobody, right? So it goes back to that relationship again. So working with BRMs is not a guaranteed thing, but it does help because they are the bridge to underwriting. They're talking to underwriting. Maybe they're selling your story to underwriting versus if you just apply online, you don't got a lot to sell for yourself. And we're really good at what we do. We get a lot of these approvals. So we work with our clients to make sure that they're being told a good story, that their application is being told a good story so that they have the highest odds to get those approvals. So that's why when you go to my channel, if you go to my post, you see these high limit approvals of $50,000 credit cards. You know what I'm saying? And that's not by accident. We created a system for that. And this includes working with bank relationship managers. So if you're doing it by yourself, make sure you are working with the bank relationship manager. I would prefer just for your own like good result, work with the funding company that's been working with bank relationship managers for years, in my opinion. But yeah, keep that in mind. That might be a reason why you're getting denied as well. Obviously, personal credit, if it's bad, That could be a reason as well. But yeah, the main thing I wanted to come on here and talk about, just because I was looking at some of the trends of clients that we've had that got denied and that whole verification of business identity. We had a client one time, he had a different spelling in his first name. He had to change it from the Secretary of State versus his application. So that shows you like just the small things. And this is a whole legitimate business, so you got to be aware of just the small things. If you don't want to have to worry about all this extra shit, you're just a busy business owner. Maybe you're making money in your business already. Maybe you're just getting started. You still want to get access to the extra capital that's going to help you grow and scale your business. We do this shit. So go ahead and book a call below, and maybe we'll be able to help you scale your business.